Welcome to another episode of Modern Black Man. I am very blessed, excited, and looking forward to having a conversation with some gentlemen that are taking some time out of their day for us to discuss interracial relations. I think we might have lost one of our panelists, but I still got you with us. The one of the big hitters and co-hosts of the Talk Royalty podcast, the Talk Royalty team, Ashton. I appreciate you making it.
I'm glad to be here.
I'm excited to have this conversation. I really don't know if you have had a past with interracial relations, but we're going to discuss it and try to have some good nuance and something good to contribute to anybody that's listening. Have you ever been involved in an interracial relationship in the past?
Uh, I mean, I didn't never been in one relationship, or interracial relationship, but I have, intertwined with different races. Yes.
Cool. I think that from the research that I've done, I found a lot of really interesting information about Black men in interracial relations that we're going to talk about today. It's pretty powerful, actually. It's something that is highly prevalent in all communities. And I think that most of us have some kind of emotional attachment or experience to it. And your past experience, was it one that you felt was positive? You feel it was one that changed anything in your life?
Uh, I wouldn't say it changed anything in my life. It was just something, just trying.
Mm-hmm. I'll go ahead and throw it out there. I know I've been in different communities and I've seen communities where that's almost preferred or almost the common. I know it's really popular in the Midwest, and I think that it's definitely picking up steam down south. Um,
Yeah.
it's crazy when you go to different regions just to see the prevalence of interracial relations. In my experience, though, I think that it's a sign of progress. It's not something that I'm necessarily against or for. It's just something that people do in observing the behavior. I think these statistics will give us some good information on the why. Um, as far as the Midwest and the swirl, though, I've seen firsthand in places like KC, places like Indianapolis, places where in Omaha, Nebraska, where it's pretty hard not to see it looking like it's the major way. With that being
Yeah.
said, um, what are your thoughts on interracial relations? Do you think that this is something that we need to hold as a marker of progress? Um, is this something that you think we could do better? You know, what exactly are you thinking we're going to get done next with interracial relations?
Me personally, I'm open-minded,
Mm-hmm.
so it's to each his own. And I feel like with open relationships, well, interracial relationships, I'm sorry, it can be a good thing and it can be a disaster. Um, it all depends, like if you're really in love with that person, because I didn't watch interracial relationships. I got friends that's in interracial relationships. I actually have a brother that's in an interracial relationship, and yeah, it can get rocky and it can get very shaky. I didn't see parents be racist to
Mm-hmm.
white folks. I didn't see the other way around, so on and so on. So again, like I said, it's just to each his own.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag. And I mean, that's what I'm bringing to the table with the facts. So, like, one thing that I've always noticed as an offshoot of this is I don't know if it's fetishization or a preference, but I think that white women are sexualized at a much higher rate than the average population. I also think the same thing of black men. And I think that's a large contributor to the prevalence of interracial relations.
I can
It,
see that. I
yeah,
also throw the Asians in there as well.
and I got statistics to show all that exactly. White women and Asian women are fetishized at an incredibly high rate, and when you look, I'll just share one statistic. Um, Asian women and white women marry outside of their race at a much higher rate than black women. This was actually a Pew study that was done in 2018. In this study, a lot of information came through. Dr. Sherman Rivers actually shared some of this information, and in doing so, 9 out of 100 black men are designated as marrying outside of their race. Out of that 9 out of 10, 3 out of every 5 marry a white woman. Just statistically, that's how it pans out. And I think it all goes back to that fetishization. We know what they say, the stereotypes about white women, Asian women, and black men.
Yeah, I was just looking up something not too long ago. I want to say 2 days ago about interracial relationships, and I was looking at something that between the couples, there's more couples being married between white women. I mean, not white women, white and Asians and white and Mexicans.
Right. They consider Mexican women or Hispanic women as white women in this study. That was another note I kind of wrote down. But yeah, yeah, statistically, that's how it goes
Yeah.
down. Another really interesting statistic that I wanted to submit is that black men marry white women at twice the rate that black women marry white men. It's almost like we're competing to get away from each other. Um, that was just one that was really interesting to me. And looking at that number, something that I kind of found alarming, offensive, harmful, was the rate of divorce for black women. This was a study done in 2018, and it's actually a Bowling Green State University study. It found that black women had a higher divorce rate than any other group or race of women. Um, I actually have some more of those statistics, but how are we, black women, the most unmarried women? They have the highest divorce rate, and they have the highest never married rate, all on the backs of black women.
Huh.
So when I saw those statistics, I just wanted to try to love a black woman. I just want, and any way I can to try to help another person in society, not necessarily
Yeah.
cutting off options, but black women should be appreciated. Black women should be loved, and the statistics really show that there's a social problem, a social distress.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. There was also a general social survey that was done in 2016. And I think this one's kind of interesting of the times that we're in because only 1 out of every 10 people oppose interracial relations. So 9 out of 10 or 90% of us people are for interracial relations.
Damn.
I mean, I have no dog in the fight. I have no dog in the fight, but I think that's really interesting that statistically, this is what we're getting back from studies like the General Social Survey.
I mean, I wouldn't look at it that way. Now that you say that.
Right? It's just where we are in a society. I mean, we know that we can't avoid it. We know that it is par for the course, and according to these statistics, we got a 90% approval rate.
Yeah. But where I'm in Topeka, Kansas right now, and so far what I've seen out here is nothing but interracial relationships. I didn't seen white and Mexicans. I didn't seen black and Mexicans. I didn't seen what black and Asian. I didn't seen white and Asians. I didn't. I didn't see it all out here for real.
Yeah,
I'd actually seen a Russian with a black person out here.
that's dope. I grew up in the Midwest, and I mean, it's like they invented the swirl. It's unlike any other place I've been in California. I think California is the only place that I see more mixed race couples than in the Midwest.
Hmm.
It's truly the way. Like I was saying, the social fallout, something I've always thought was interesting from the what do we call it, the post-racial era,
Uh-huh.
where I feel like it can be a little confusing or misleading, are things like President Obama or our current Vice President Kamala Harris. Um, Biracial is very much in, but black is not prevalent. And I know that it was very exciting to have what we perceived as a black president, but I'm still holding on for a Harold Washington, for a Marion Barry type presidential candidate. I really would like to see that in my lifetime. It's not negating progress or negating interracial relations. It's just heralding or acknowledging the interracial effect.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I really want to see that. Another interesting statistic to kind of go along with that from Pew Research is that right now, about 1 out of every 20 people in America, in our country, are multiracial or biracial.
You said what now?
About 1 out of every 20 people that you run across have mixed race ancestry. They are not from one single race. The statistic is as high as 1 out of every 20. And I know about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, I put together a speech about this specifically, and I called us getting a biracial president. And again, I'm echoing the same sentiment because it is growing. We're literally creating another race of people, which is a beautiful thing. But 1 out of every 20 of us come from more than one race.
Yeah, I can see that.
I mean, if it's a sign of progress, however you look at it, we are evolving. And I think that that's a very strong argument for progression. You could really look at this if you look back in the Bible, you look at biblical times. People were literally just different shades of wheat. Nationality is something that we've trumped up to create race, but essentially we are all one people, and intermingling is just a byproduct of people. It's nothing new. This isn't something that was new in the 90s or made legal in the 50s with Loving versus Virginia. This is just the way of people. And I think it's so interesting because in creating this show, there's not a lot of people that are willing to announce or really be proud about their interracial relations publicly. I see that that's something that I've always observed. People are very shy and they hold it very privately, their interracial relations. But the numbers prove that this is not a minority. This is something that's quite prevalent.
It's starting to look like a minority.
Mm.
I,
And I mean, go ahead.
I see otherwise, um, just for being around, walking around like every day. Like you said 1 in every 20. Just walking around, I probably see 1 every 5.
Right. But it's not the whole country, because there are parts of Iowa, Montana, and North Dakota where they don't have the opportunity to swirl. They probably would. And I think that's what really diminishes those numbers, because you certainly know it's places where it's looking like it's as high as 1 out of every 5. It's really good. Welcome back.
Hello, I want to apologize. I want to apologize first for my tardiness and my unprofessionalism. That is
Oh
not
no,
how I appear to be. So, to the viewers, my apologies. I genuinely apologize.
no, not at all, man. I'm
And
so thankful for you
hello,
being
everyone. My name is Tagged Up Samuels. It's nice to meet you. And may I ask what your name is, sir?
chubby.
Okay, nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you. I appreciate you joining us for the conversation. Before you got here, we were just kind of kicking around some statistics and, lots of different varied views of the topic that we're discussing today, interracial relations. I'm not here to say that it's what we should do, shouldn't do, could do, or won't do. I'm just kind of shedding light on what has happened statistically, what is really going on, right? Because I think that there are so many emotional views of interracial relationships. Kind of to wrap up everything we talked about in the last few minutes.
Okay, that's pretty. I was kind of viewing in on that.
Cool.
I have a opinion on interracial. Like I say, I don't have any problem with it.
Mm-hmm.
I think interracial relationships are an outcome of what happened before like in the previous relationship. I think interracial relationships are based on or outcomes based on the previous relationship. So mainly,
Elaborate on that. I think I get what you're saying. Like it causes
well,
the previous relationship causes.
here's one way to look at it. Us going through the 90s, and I'm going to put this all in a big ball so it'll make sense.
Yeah.
In the 90s, we had to deal with Ricky Lake, Oprah Winfrey. We had to deal with Geraldo. We had to deal with TLC, No Scrubs. We had to deal with all of this. All of that time through that era, the message was being pushed that black men ain't shit.
There we go.
Black women have said that more than anyone else. Now, there comes to a point where a man can only take so much. Where a man can only take so much from a sister, where they eventually are going to branch out to something else. And mainly, and here's the crazy thing, the statistic wise, a lot of brothers ain't even going for white women. They're going for the Latinos.
That's
They're going
right.
for the Latinos. You know what I'm saying? They're going for the Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Take it from me. I know. They're going for them, you know, and
right.
It's all based off of what happened before, and it is based off of that, because when you see an individual with their other half, you know, when they're with Becky, Miley, Anu, or whoever you want to put a name on, you look at it, you like, wow. They tell you, and I ain't had this shit. I ain't got to deal with that from her like I did with Keisha. You know, that you hear that a lot when you see black men branching off into other races to find what they're looking for, which is mainly just submission. That's mainly what, and black women have so much trouble submitting to the man that they say that they want. And like if you, I don't know if you've ever seen this clip, but there was a clip I seen on TikTok a while ago. It was two marriages where they were doing the vows. It was a black couple getting married, and she was doing the vows, and she had trouble saying love, cherish, obey, and then they switched over to the Indian woman, and she submitted 100%. She said everything that us men want to hear from our women, no matter what race. We want to hear that. And the bad part and the messed up thing is that we hear that more outside of our own race.
The divorce rate for black women is higher than any other group. They're the biggest minority.
80% of black women are leaving the house.
That's crazy. But they're also they hit all three, the trifecta. They're the lowest rate to get married, the highest divorce rate. And I think there's a third leg that I'm forgetting right now, but I just think that's really unfortunate for black women. I was talking to A earlier, talking about how that really compels me to try to have more compassion and conviction for those women, because that's horrible. That's horrible to have such a high divorce rate, to not be known as submissive, and to never have the opportunity to prove or to be a wife, a partner.
Because mainly that's what they mainly ask for. And if you let's put 100, and here's the and this is going to make it even worse but it's going to prove my point even more on that interracial couples were outcome. You put 100. I hate to say this, but I'm gonna say it anyway.
Say it.
You put 100 black women in a room, and you put 5 black men in there. They don't know what they do. They don't know what they do. They don't know what they do for a living. They don't know how much they're making. All they know is that there are 5 black men here. Let's see what y'all do with that. Oh, ain't no black woman gonna move. They're not gonna move a muscle. They're gonna be like, oh, he should come to me. Now let's switch that scenario up. And it's 100 black women and 3 white men. And say, go. They're gonna fight to the death. Because in their mind, they're automatically assuming their outcome, but not knowing that their decision making is proving the point of the outcome of interracial. Because black men don't look at the way that black women look at black men. Black men don't look at black women the same way.
Right. Right. I value black women. I would almost say I have a preference for black women, but black women don't have that same love for us most often. I think that there were decades, there was a time when the black man was being removed from the home. I do think that we've evolved and it's a new day, but we are still reeling and recovering from absentee fathers, the crack epidemic in the 80s, single motherhood in the 90s, the light sexual revolution in the early 2000s, and the proliferation of the swirl from the 2010s. With those 5 decades, black men have definitely been displaced in the value mind of black women, unless I'm wrong.
No, I would agree. I would agree with that.
So, what is it? What they call them? The passport bros?
Yeah, I'm one of them. I was one of them.
The passport brothers. Passport brothers.
Caribbean, South America,
Go to Asia. Go to Asia. You go get you a Wing Lee. You go get you a Wing Lee.
Yeah, you get you a good wife. You get you a good wife.
And here's the thing: I want to make it clear: I am with a black woman right now, but it doesn't take away from the fact that what I say. Now, I'm not. What I say is true, and anybody who wants to question anything I'm saying, I urge you and challenge you. Go to blackdemographics.com and notice that every statistic that I said is right on the mark.
Say that website again.
Blackdemographics.com.
Cool. Dr. Sherman Rivers, that I got a lot of this information from, he runs Black Statistics. He's got a YouTube channel and a good arm of research as well. But these are pertinent statistics for the culture, for us at large. We have to be familiar with these things and not feel surrendered by them or attacked. Feel like that this is indicative of us. So I appreciate you sharing that.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I was gonna say, I think that we are in a new time. I think that black women have evolved as well. And I throw out examples like Kamala Harris, Candace Owens, Eve, Meghan Markle. There are so many black women that are marrying white men, men from other tribes. And I shared a statistic earlier that kind of talked about the urgency that I think a lot of black women display to marry outside now. I don't know if it's retaliatory from what they perceive black men doing for those previous decades, but it's definitely picking up, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. You couple this with another statistic: the most educated subdemographic on earth is black women. Our black women have access to every race of man. I think that that's what we're going to see in the future. I really believe that black women will outpace black men in marriage in a generation.
Let me make sure I heard you correctly. You said that in the next generation, black women will marry more than black men.
Yes, because they're doing it twice the rate.
I highly disagree with that. I highly disagree with that.
Tell me.
Well, if you shoot yourself in the foot so many times, you're eventually not going to have one. And using that as an analogy, like if and I want to really say this, if for any black woman watching, if you really think that you could spend most of your life downing the black man and just pray to God that you can pick one, Ahmed, Keith, Henry, Anu off of the high value tree, you are highly delusional. And this is the reason why I say this. Majority, and this, I'm not going to say the statistic wise because I don't want to be inaccurate, but it's over 50% where black women are single and have a child.
Oh yeah.
That's majority. I want to say above 70. So I'm gonna stick with that. Mainly, so above 70% of black women are single and they have children. If the man does, and especially a high value man, they do not want to take care of anything that doesn't belong to them because there's too many fights in between that.
Absolutely.
And the crazy part is, instead of just dealing with the person, I think if it was up to me, if I had my Thanos glove and I snapped my fingers, the person the woman, whoever, the man that she had a child with, that would be a marriage. That would be a marriage. That would teach a lot of people a lot of things. That's it. But to get back to my point, I'm sorry.
No, you made a good point.
Most of the black women are single and childless, and black men, and we're not going to say black men, period, do not want to take on the burden of another man's child. If you're sitting back and you doing your thing, you should not be forced to pick from a crop of women who already had another man's child.
Yes.
And the same, and it seems a little irresponsible on the woman's end, because they mainly say when you ask them, why didn't you marry your BD? Oh, because he wasn't good enough. Well, he was good enough for you to share your womb with.
Right.
Like, and having that attitude, having that mindset, and moving around like that, there is no way, because they're going to continue to shoot themselves in the foot. They're going to continue to do that. If you thought, everybody knows everybody knows a dashiki. Everybody knows a dashiki.
I love the point that you make.
No matter where you at in America, there's a dashiki somewhere. And you add all them dashikis up. Do you really think that Bruce over here, who got his thing going on, who's making, let's say 80,000 a year to 100,000 a year,
give him really figures, please.
He's settling? And that's what most of the men are going to be looking at. In the next generation, there's not going to be a woman in sight that's going to say, I'm just settling. All the men are going to be the ones that are settling.
It's happening now. That was the point I'm making.
The only way that we can be out, the only way that the black woman could outmarry the black man is if, excuse my language, is if she shuts the fuck up and do what needs to be done. If a man is working so many hours, if a man's working so many hours at work, he brings home the bacon. There's nothing wrong with you cooking it.
Right. I want to talk about this, man. Look, the numbers prove everything that you just said, because in the minds of so many black women, men that are not black have value. And the statistics to couple with that is that they are the most educated group on earth. Black women are getting new access, and their lives are opening up new doors. Where I personally get, I'm not going to say offended. I'm not going to say hurt. I'm not upset. I just observe Ketanji Brown, Supreme Court Justice. She's married to a white man. Clarence Thomas, married to a white woman. Kamala Harris. Everyone is doing exactly like these statistics are showing, and it might not be a direct link in them leveling up. It might be because they are in new spaces. And I'm not calling these women dashikis, but trickle down to dashiki, bald head ass. She wants to have a Henry. She wants a Hank.
Henry.
I mean, I think it's a social. We're making it a social construct, and it's social perception. Again, because nobody can be right in making a superficial judgment or observation.
Absolutely.
But the statistics show these things. So I just think that in the generation, the greatest minority in marriage right now that are black women, I do think that their numbers are going to go up. And I'm not calling these men victims, but I do think that you're going to see a lot more dashikis with Henrys, because I am seeing it now. And it doesn't make sense to me. You have 6 children with 3 or 4 different men, and whatever the men's problems are, in the eyes of many men, it diminishes the woman's value. So I think
that proves that shows how many men will be settling.
Yeah, we're settling now. We are women.
Yes.
Don't get it confused. Women had an era where they were victimized by society, all women. And then look at feminism, which was racist to our women. Yes. And then we have modern feminism that carries and extends this torch into the new time that we're in. It's developing. Absolutely. All of those things.
Hey, any takes? I noticed you just been eating your popcorn.
I was letting you cook. I cooked for the first 15 minutes. You good? We can. Hey.
Well,
This one
given that I did say that, you know, when Tagged Up Samuels and when Mr. Gaming called me and he let me know to show up, I said that I would show up and I would be happy to, you know, come in and give out my 2 cents.
Okay.
I was hoping that some of the women would be able to attend today, because then I would have put on my Thanos glove.
So in 2021, 31.2% of the black population was married, compared to 50% of the U.S. population. As far as marriage age, black women tend to marry at a later age.
At a later age.
Yeah, 31. So
yeah, and that's too. To me, that's too old to get married. I think honestly, I think a person should be. It doesn't take that long to figure out who you want to be with.
Okay, well, you since you say that, what is too? So, what's the youngest age to be getting married? What you think is too young?
That study starts at 15.
Too young is your 18, 19 ages, 20 ages. You should know that.
That study starts at 15. By the way.
Yeah, like if the older I say, the older you get, the bigger risk it is. Because now you have to do all the stuff that people usually in marriages do in their late 20s, like the 27, 28, 29. That should be around that year margin, 27, 28, 29.
So, do you think being remarried at that age is too old or older?
Remarried?
Yeah.
Meaning that you've gotten married earlier on and you're getting married
again. And at some point in time.
Statistically,
my opinion on that, I mean, it's tougher, but do I see? I don't see anything. If it's a remarriage, if you're like, first of all, I think you should be stuck with the motherfucker you married the first time. Learn some shit. You learn some shit after that.
Yeah, you do.
A person would really learn what they want in life. If they were forced to be married to the person that they first had their child with, you would really learn. You would really learn something.
Are these women good women that you want to be attached to at that age, though? Do you trust this woman to be faithful?
I mean, the same thing can be said vice versa. But as Chris Brown said it the best, these pros ain't loyal. But it's up to us. But it's not always on. It's up to us as men to not be simps, to read through it, to know our value. Because the reason why Dashiki and all them might be able to marry them is because as men, we don't even know our real value, and we're just now knowing it. We're just now knowing what our true value is, to the point where we're like, no, we're not going to settle for that. We're just getting to, and if the sooner we're able to understand our value, our true value, then Dashiki don't have a chance fucking with us. Then she's gonna stay in that.
That's kind of hard for a man to know his. That's kind of hard for a man to know his true value when you got gold diggers out here.
Is it really? Is it really because gold diggers don't tell us our value? And if you want to be for real, we decide the value. We're the market.
That's the point. And you just proved my point.
Right. Why are you showing these hoes the gold?
The woman's not the market.
Huh?
The woman's not the market.
For example, have you watched those gold digger videos?
Yeah. See them all the time. They're pretty entertaining.
Like, you can sit here and walk right past a chick that's leaving your car. She ain't paid attention what car you came from, nowhere. And you can be like, hey, I just saw you across, the parking lot. I was trying to see if I can get your number. You're not worth my time. Walk right past you. Like, okay, cool.
I'm glad you said that. Now check this
out.
Good. Now check this out.
Like I said, so on, you go out, back to your car. Here she coming back. Hey, I wanted to talk, and this
There's the value right there. There's the value right there that you just did, that you just helped me to, because right then and there, dude already knew what his value was. He just wanted to see if she was gonna bite. Because when he hopped in the car and she walked back, what was his attitude like?
I don't need you. I don't want you.
He said, "Get there. Oh, I'm good. Get up out of here. Fuck this shit." I've seen that same nigga just say, "Hey, what's over there?" And just pulled off on the bitch. Like, But
That's a car rental
men
too.
knew they like when we have to get to that point, because that point is that because those people, those individuals that are doing all those gold digger pranks, they know they true value.
I want to talk about that though, because again, a lot of those videos of guys renting Turo, Lambos, and vehicles and exposing these women. But why are we showing women are gold? Because white men don't do that. Real rich men don't do that. That's a poverty response to have to prove yourself. That was my take.
Yeah, you have a point, because I don't see no white folks doing that. But what's even crazier is that shows how crazy that the woman is. I mean, because you've seen women of all races fall into that. How little their mind is, and how it's easy to be purchased.
Because they usually have BBLs.
Huh?
They usually have BBLs. The women in
they usually have BBL. How easy it is for them to be purchased. Like you look, like, and you see them coming right back. You hear them. They be like, "Yep, got another one."
Right.
I got another one.
Right.
There's not gonna be. There's never been one time where you seen a woman do that and she's doing a gold digger prank and she hop in her car and a nigga hop right back there. You've never seen that.
Nope.
Those men, they know their value. That's why they do it. That's why they do those gold digger pranks, because they know their value, and they trying to show us that we need to know our value. Yeah, we got a little rinky-dink shack, but it's ours, and we built it.
You feel me? Yeah. Perception is such a powerful means of controlling the masses.
And you will be surprised how many women in particular don't even have a shack that they've built on their own.
Living on a mattress
at Pookie house, or they sleeping in their car.
Yeah.
If they got one,
it's prevalent. Mm-hmm. It's prevalent. It's very popular.
The moment we know our value, they'll understand the value of us, and they won't have a problem submitting to it. When they understand that our value is our value, our price is our price, and we standing on it, we don't want you and your 7 kids, then they will understand that, hey, maybe I messed up when I had sex with Tyrone 6 times and Pookie the first time. Maybe they'll understand that. But until then, I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't see it, and I wish it too, because the black woman is so powerful. One of the most beautiful creatures on in the planet. Yeah, a black woman is one of the most beautiful creatures on the planet.
One of the most valuable souls. Absolutely.
And yet they don't move like it,
because they don't know their value. So how can
they think their value is a Lambo?
Yeah,
or say that, and it's our fault. Some of it is our fault. Not to say that it is. Some of it is our fault, because some of us fell into simp mode for some of these women, and we lost our value. Some of us men fell into simp, and I'm explaining because I see the look on your face. I'm going to explain it. There are men out there. For example, Will Smith. Will Smith is a perfect example of a simp gone wrong.
I'm gonna leave Smith alone.
I'm gonna break it down. Do it.
I want to see how this gonna go.
Use Will Smith as an example.
Okay.
Will Smith came from Philadelphia. He started off as a hip hop artist. He ran into Jada Pinkett, and stuff changed. Now, Jada Pinkett's mind was forever changed when she met Tupac Shakur.
Amen. She looked Tupac like him now.
And Will Smith couldn't be more separate and unlike if they tried. And Will Smith has been competing with the ghost of a dead man for the last 20 years.
30
years. I'm sorry, for the last 30 years. Yeah. To the point where he is so much felon. He even been on record saying, I told her I'm gonna love her so much. I'm gonna love her through her badness, and there's nothing that she can do to make me not love her anymore. He fell into that hole so deep that he allowed his wife to have sex with his son's best friend.
Let's talk about that though, because you know what they say, how that went down. It was supposedly Big Willie, he was with Alcina, And I don't know if y'all kept up with it, but that boy came out with a boyfriend not too long ago.
Yeah,
And his
not too
first
long ago.
boyfriend was probably Will's son. They
That's why I
friends.
said
Probably,
boyfriend.
probably,
The
but he still
boyfriend
smashed.
was Will's son's
But he still
boyfriend.
smashed Jada. Probably, but he still smashed Jada.
Which is crazy.
And Will didn't do nothing about it.
I wasn't there. I don't
And
know,
here to the point where he
suppose.
was dragged on the red table, and she let it all out in front of this man. This man had this man crying, looking like a bitch ass nigga. I'm sorry for my language. Looking like
this
a
is
bitch ass nigga
HBO.
on camera. That is the and everybody called him a bitch. Everybody called him weak. And the only person that he attacked was Chris Rock. He didn't attack the person who slept with his wife. And that is to show you how much a simp can be so entangled with his mind. That is the outcome of being a simp. Where you can be married to Jada Pickett. You could be married to Jada Pickett and y'all not clicking. You know she's sleeping around with you, with children, because if that would have been the other way around and Will Smith was messing with fucking Miley Cyrus or anything like that, they'd have crucified that man.
Absolutely.
But the fact that he allowed Jada to do all that, no matter how many black women told her to sit her ass down, Will allowed that to happen. He turned into a simp because he was so in love with this woman. And being a simp is dangerous. It is so dangerous. And that's that. Now we done went through the simp category.
I want to close on that because I think that's what prevents a lot of relationships from being successful. Did you have a take on that, A?
Nah, you good. I'm good on that one.
This guy.
He hit it. He hit it right there.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about simping, man, because interracial relationships, I think, like you said earlier, they're a knee-jerk response. They are a retaliatory response from previous experience. Yeah. And I just, that's where my mind goes and why I feel the trend, especially for women, is going in that direction.
A lot of black women say that black men are feminine.
Are feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would like to respond to that if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, if that is true and they're saying black men are feminine or feminists.
Both.
Now, I would not argue the fact that black men are feminists because we in real life, despite all of this, we do want the best for our mothers, sisters, and daughters.
No, not feminists. We want to be the bitches. Feminine.
Okay. That's what I thought. That's what I thought he said. Okay.
Yep.
Bitch. Now, here's my response to that. And here, like, if that's true, then we have to blame the woman for that. We have to blame the woman. And the reason why I say that, we just went through the statistic on single parenting not too long ago.
Yeah.
Single parent, which means the father is not in the house. If the father was in the house, would there be any type of feminine thing going on from that boy? I highly doubt it.
But we leave because we can't stand the environment. That's what's made us feminine.
And when we leave, the woman with whatever she's did, she's gonna get, because I think all of us except you, A, came from single parenting. I don't know. Yeah. I've came from single parenting, so I can say that there was a lot of things that I was taught by my grandmother that I know for a fact that if I would have met my dad or anything, he wouldn't have taught me that.
Okay.
He wouldn't have taught me that. Now, mainly, you hear the woman, oh, don't do this to a woman, don't do that to a woman. The best way, all right, this is how I'm gonna say it. Our mama always told us never to hit a woman, right?
Yeah.
She never taught them bitches not to hit us, though. They was never taught not to hit us. We was always taught.
Okay, let's ask this question though. Let's ask this question since I brought it up. How many women know how to fish?
That's a great one. I don't know.
Look at there's a show.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
How many women know how to hunt?
Keep going, and I'm gonna answer that.
Okay.
I like that you said that.
So to go back, how many men know how to fish?
Countless.
Build a house and hunt.
Countless.
How many men know how to hunt?
Countless.
You know what I'm saying? That's the things you got to ask. Just like, for example, how many men know how to fix the tire or change the tire?
Now there we go. There we go. Now I see where you're
How,
going
how
because
many
not
women? How many women can change a tire?
a couple. I know a couple.
I know a lot.
A couple.
Yeah,
Equality.
like if we was to go, me and you, like personally, like we know because we've seen it like with our own eyes, like. But that was on some, and we'll even use that. Like there was a certain situation, and I'll bring it up to you. I don't know if you remember this, where this was around the time when we was in our early 20s and stuff like that, and we was going to America's Pub.
Okay.
And we was
I know what
performing
city y'all from.
Now, there was a time there. Now you remember Marasha used to pull up in an '84 Regal. She used to pull up in that old school, and thing was dripped out nasty. She's a car girl. Out of everything, she's a car girl. I don't know how, but she had hit a flat. All of us offered to help her. Did she accept any of it?
No.
No, she said, "No, I got this right." Kind of was sexy, but like okay, like with. So there are some. I've seen it. And that's just to prove that we have seen it.
I watched a woman change the tire with her heels on.
There's this show called Survivor. I don't know if you've seen it or heard of it. There's this show called Survivor. And there was I think they were on the second season where they were doing men versus women. And by the first episode, the men have pretty much made it further into the forest and damn near built civilization. But the dead ass, I'm not even joking. They were on the shit. They were hunting, fishing, building fires and stuff.
Yeah.
By the end of that first episode, the women were still stuck in the same spot, damn near starved to death, still trying to figure out who's going to be the leader.
Almost like we need each other.
Yeah, like it. Now, us men, yes, we have no problem going to get it out. I'm living proof. I have no problem going to get it out the mud. I have no problem because that's what we're built to do. Women, on the other hand, no, I don't see that. I mean, it's very rare, and I think that it shouldn't be like that. I think that if I'm struggling, and my girl's struggling, we're gonna struggle together and try to make $100 out this both our 50s.
That's right.
But it's
That's
not
the
like
winning mentality.
Yeah, but the only way that it's really like that now is because she's submitted. She is submitted, and the sooner women submit to their man, the better off we all be. Because marriages will increase. Back in the 70s and back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, black people were marrying at a rate of fucking 80%. Like they were, and I'm apologizing for my language.
No, man, we hear the cuss.
It's funny you say 80s because that's pretty much when interracial relationships started.
Like a lot of folks that came out of that 70s they came back from the war. They came back with their high school sweetheart that they had the baby. They built up, they saved up enough money and got married, and to the point where people were making $3.85 an hour and they were still able to buy houses.
Yep.
It was that rate, and then later on, and I will say in the late 80s, because this is another like conspiracy thing I have, but it's a phrase I like to use called the color purpling of a Black America, because these thoughts rapidly changed after 1984. 1984 is the color purple, and they put Black folks in such a horrible image. What was Danny Glover's name in that movie?
Mister.
And all these horrible, misogynistic Black men that don't exist.
We got to talk about that.
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
No. It's the reason I say that is because Alice Walker's Color Purple, reading it is very different than the film, and then this remake pisses me off even more because
I never watched it.
If you read the book,
you watch 1983's The Color. 1983. I'm sorry, 1983's The Color Purple.
But Steven Spielberg directed a masterpiece. But the book that Alice Walker wrote, Mister was broke, my nigga. He had to use Seeley to get everything done. He was a loser in the book, and they've made it for the screen so many times. Just like you're saying, it's where culture went. That's my only point on that. I'm writing down what you're saying. I'm gonna wrap this. I'm gonna wrap those things.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. But yeah, the Mr. was abusive, and it was reflective of the era I'm going to talk about. To complete the point, I just want to put that out there because in the book he was not like he was in the movie, and then they remade it with the musical that I refuse to watch.
Yeah, I'm not watching that. Oh hell no,
I'm not doing it.
They might as well just play Django on Broadway. They might as well at that point, like because but that's where because at that point we need to get back to that, and I also because I don't want to make it seem like I'm bashing women because I love women.
Yeah.
We as men also have to know because if we know bullshit when we smell it, we need to call it. We need to call it. We don't be because we've gotten to the point where we've been raised by our mothers since 1985. You know what I'm saying? Since the year 1985, there's been single parenting and all of that, and we've been taught to, do what our mothers did, do what our grandparents did. You know what I'm saying? Forgive and forget. Move forward, you know what I'm saying, and all that. No, we shouldn't have to. We shouldn't have to do that, especially if we were raised by single mothers. So whether they wanted to or not, they were raising us to be them, but in the heart. They're raising us to be them in the heart, us men. Because if you notice even further, when we all got grown, the son stayed. You know what I'm saying? Daughter went out. She was going out. She was about to go to college. She couldn't wait to get the hell out.
Right.
We stayed. You know what I'm saying? Because we was taught to stick around with them. We was raised to do that at an early age.
Yeah.
And we need to know bullshit because all of us men, despite what if they want to say misogynistic or whatever, we all have a soft spot for that one woman, no matter who it is. We all have that soft spot to the point where we would actually, and it could be a relative, it could be a person, a friend or anything, where we have that one person where we can simp, where we would simp for it. No matter what. Tyler Perry did it in that fucking Diary of a Mad Black Woman. His girl was a crackhead. He kept letting her in to eat, no matter how many times she jacked his wallet. We was taught to do that. And if we get to a point where we can smell it, we call the bullshit when we smell it, maybe we can change some of that in the process. Maybe we could change that. I think if Tyler Perry would not have answered the door the first time, he would have had all his money to buy Tuesday. And if he would have had all his money to buy Tuesday, he would have been able to pay for his daughter's clothes for the costume party. All of that falls into the play. But if he would have been like, nah, fuck that. You not getting in this house. Or maybe even earlier. No, you're not about to smoke that crack. No, instead of just letting it happen,
right,
we all be better off. A lot of us, we got to erase that thought of, oh, I don't give a fuck. Because we really do. We really do.
You make great points. Brian, I think was his name, the lawyer, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Fucking Tyler Perry. And I wanna go at him, but we're gonna use that for another day. I think Tyler Perry is one of the main reasons why, because he's fell into the Oprah category where he's good at bashing black men. You look at most of his movies, and it's always the dark-skinned, successful black man with the bald head. He come in and he's oppressing the black woman, cheating on her, and then he go get saved by the light-skinned former felon with the heart of gold who love him some Jesus.
That's
you know that like. No, and it's always the dark skinned man who's the rich one, but he's misogynist. I mean, Jesus, he's just horrible. And then she's gotta leave and then go back to Big Mama and her girlfriends. And here comes Shamar Moore with cornrows, cutting your grass.
Right.
And he got a heart for Jesus and love you.
Right. No matter what you did before him.
Yeah, and he restores you. That's some bullshit. I mean,
it's all fantasy.
And so I want to, because Tyler Perry is some of those images that he paints on black men are horrible, and he's painting horrible images on black women too. So where, if anybody remembers, what's it called? Family that that's not the movie. Where Sanaa Lathan and Taraji Family of Praise. He's busting his ass and she's cheating on him with the white rich man. Yep. Now what's messed up is that he portrayed her as such an evil ass woman. He portrays black man as such an evil ass man. Like Like we do this. Like we're just gonna we actually do this. That is fiction. That is 100% because there's no way. There's no way. Like a black man, and I don't know about y'all. Maybe y'all can disagree with me, but when a black man gets married the first time, he's not looking to do it another time. Especially if he's working so hard to get, he's not looking to get married a second time. So it hits harder when she is messing with the white rich man.
And which is why black women are the highest divorce rate. They will leave much, much more quickly than any other race of women.
They believe that the grass is greener on the other side instead of it's greener where you water it.
Because they suffered enough. Why would they be in a relationship to struggle?
I mean, you said, wait. You said, say that again. Say that again.
Okay, the mentality of black women is often one where they feel that they've struggled enough. In society, they've struggled enough. Why would they couple with a man? Because another Tyler Perry film, I Can Do Bad all by myself.
I hated that movie.
I hated it because it paints this fantasy.
We all struggling, and here's my response to that. We're all struggling in life.
Mm-hmm.
All of us are scraping to get the same dollar every Friday or whenever we get paid.
Yep.
Me personally, you put your dollar and put it in with my dollar, we can do more with it.
Yep.
And I look at it like, these black, there's no way. Why do he do this, Tyler? Tyler, why do you do this to us? Because it's not true. It's not true. Like yes. I think if you're going to struggle by yourself, then that means that you have to count on yourself.
You believe in 50-50?
But if you...
I believe in 50-50 because what he's talking about, the misleading of our women, that things are always going to be perfect, that there's no need to invest, that whenever you're challenged, that you can placate or blame shift to the man, because as a man, he has to make a way. If there is a problem, it falls on his back, and it comes from slavery. Don't worry, I'm gonna wrap it up.
Mm-hmm. What if it's 80-20?
See,
that's what you have to do in relationships, and sometimes it's 99-1. Sometimes it's 29.9, and you get that 0.1 from somewhere else, right? Because that's the nature of relationships. It's always going to change. It's always going to ebb and flow. And sometimes your best can be 50-50. Sometimes the majority of the relationships 80-20. That's not reflective of happiness.
That's right.
But what I'm going to say is, because I want y'all to share projects that you're working on in social medias. But I want to recap the feminization of men, and I want to cover a few areas. I think that it's culture, it's women's success, and I think that it's surviving in society. All of these things have diminished the value of black men. They have diminished the importance of women succeeding with a partner. I feel bad for black women because their identities are very firmly forged in individuality. There is no duality. There is no enjoyment or sanctity for relationships because of the pictures that we paint in media and in society. Obviously, this comes from history. We had the silent era, which is the color purple. That was the silent era. That's where women had to depend on men to do the work. This is before women were in the workforce. This is before the sexual revolution, feminism, and all those things. In that era of feminism, in the sexual revolution, you did see the beginning of men coming out of the home. You saw desegregation, destroying black communities. You saw all of these things and changes in society. And I think that it was punctuated with the modern era. You see, I said the 80s. You saw all the fathers leaving. You saw the stigma that was put on black men, all the things that we're recovering from today, and we possibly overcompensate in the success of black women. Black women are successful, but they're lonely, because they do not have true partnership for the most part. So to wrap all these things up, simping is just passive pimping. And that's where we are right now.
I agree 100%. Simping is passive pimping.
Hold on. Bravo.
I might put that on a shirt. I might put that on a shirt.
But do you guys have any projects that you're working on right now? Some social medias that we want to share with people? I love y'all show, Talk Royalty. If y'all want to talk a little bit about it and let people know.
Man, yeah, we about to be back online. We got a little construction going on with our whole channel and umbrella. So, because if you know, you do watch this, you know we have multiple shows. So plus his, me, him, and a couple other guys is actually working on a new podcast called Family First.
Mm-hmm.
So be tuned. It's at the 25th of this month. Will be
October
the first
25th.
October 25th.
That's
We
a
haven't got
Friday.
a we haven't had a time set yet, but October 25th, and yeah, we'll be there. But to all the other people out there, I am one of the hosts for Talk Royalty with the main podcast that we do have. I am the main host for Man Talk podcast as well. So you can find everything. We have been having a little trouble with people not finding our channel. So Talk Royalty, Talk Royalty is the channel. If you can find it, please tune in, like, subscribe. You can even go to our Facebook. We even got a group page. Like and subscribe to that as well. For Talk Royalty, Man Talk, go like, subscribe to that. Other than that, we hope to see y'all Friday, 25th, and we hope to get the show back and running for the main show. So tune in with us. Be patient with us. We'll be back on there soon.
I would also like to add that I want everybody to like, comment, and subscribe to Tagged Up Gaming. We do multiple things. I've been still doing my show. I believe I'm going to complete my second season of Bars Are Real, which is live commentary of battle rap. If anybody likes to tap in, that's cool. I'm also going into the boxing category, so I'll also be doing live commentary on boxing events. If you would like to join the watch party, just hop into the inbox or go to Man Talk Podcast. Follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Snapchat, all of that, TikTok. I'm everywhere. Tagged Up Samuels. That is me. But I also collaborate with Tagged Up Gaming because we are all tagged up and we're all under the same umbrella. So, with that being said, I would like to thank everybody for viewing. I'd like to appreciate you for adding me on to throw my 2 cents in. But yes, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Snapchat. I'm everywhere.
Oh, you got any battles coming up soon?
Well, I'm supposed to have one. I was supposed to have one back in September, but think the platform, we're waiting on them to do their thing. Y'all can look at my latest event. Y'all can look at my latest battle, which was against TA Rail. It's at 1.2 thousand right now. So y'all watch that. Y'all tune into that. And the next time I have a battle, I'll be announcing it on the next episode of Bars Are Real, which will be on my girl's birthday. So y'all look out for that.
When is that?
On the 14th, on a Monday.
Cool. Oh, it's coming up. Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully I can share it on the Modern Black Man. I appreciate you fellas for joining me today. You already know you can follow themodernblackman.com. You can get the vlog, and the pod.
I appreciate you having me. I'm honestly, I apologize because the wife told me because she was actually gonna come on. I thought she was talking to me, talking to me, but she said something. But yeah, she said something that we never responded and everything else. And I know you tried to get the team on as well before we had that little breakup and everything. So I do apologize. I'm glad you have this on. You gave me an opportunity to come back on. So I will be back on again as well. So I thank you.
Please. You know that's an open.
I hope to have you.
Definitely.
I hope to have you on ours as well, bro.
Yeah, you already know. Just all you got to do is call, and I'm gonna try to be there. I'm gonna be there.
Got you.
Yeah. Tagged Up, man. I appreciate you. And for real, y'all, themodernblackman.com. It's the blog, it's the vlog, it's the pod. It's all in one. Until the next episode. Peace.
Peace.